Hey everyone, this is Corine Lafont, your favorite radio host, your only radio host, and favorite girl, of course, broadcasting to you from the lovely island of Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean on Between the Lines. And you know how we do it here on Between the Lines. Always with gratitude or thankfulness. I am so thankful to be here above ground, hanging with a handsome man. Yes, a lot of you would want to be hanging with this handsome man, but no, you can't. Okay, that's just what it is. All right. You can watch him, you can ask him questions, you can comment. Yeah, but that's it. All right. Let me tell you who I have with me today. I have, is it Ingemar Anderson? Did I pronounce that right?
Yes, thank you. Perfect.
Thank you. I'm
Welcome.
doing well. I'm
Thank
doing
you for being
well.
here. Yeah.
And Ingemar Anderson is a trained economist. Well, he's doing something I'm not doing with a master's degree in finance, bachelor degree in computer science, and an electro engineering degree. I didn't know that existed. He is an entrepreneur at heart, book author, speaker, consultant, investor, human centered capitalist, and executive advisor for 25 plus years. He left nothing else for anybody else to do, clearly. He has started several successful businesses and has invested in many real estate properties for income. His passion for ethical wealth development and emerging technology shows in every part of his life and in his book, which I will feature a little bit later down in our discussion. And let me tell you what we're talking about today, generational wealth. That has been a topic I have been grappling with. Not that I don't understand it, but I have friends in the area that speak to it, and it's such an amazing topic. And it is so relevant, especially now. It's always relevant anytime, but it is such an important topic for us to know. And I would even say, especially in the Black communities. I don't know, is something going on in the Black communities that is not building generational wealth from my experience and from what I've seen. You see more generational wealth happening in the Asian communities, the Syrian communities. Possibly, I'm not so sure about the Caucasian communities, but I know for sure, living in the Caribbean, definitely the Asian and the Syrian communities. It's a definite, yeah. So we're going to find out some more from Ingemar today, what he considers generational wealth, how his book can help us, and hopefully we can get rich from all of this, yeah, in the process, or at least leave a legacy, which generational wealth is, leave a legacy for those to come. If we don't make it, we put things in place for the ones to come. And if there are no ones to come, then Ingemar will tell us what we need to do. So, Ingemar, welcome to Between the Lines.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. Appreciate it very much.
It's good to have you. So, tell us what's your definition of generational wealth?
I would expect that question to be first because, yes, what is it? Um, I looked into this topic for many, many, many years, and I wrote my book for the last 10 years, which published in 2020 in December. And even then, I learned a lot of more about it. So, generational wealth, as I define it, is based on three elements.
Mm-hmm.
That is morals, mind, and money.
That sounds like
Yeah,
a song. Moral, mind, and
yes,
money.
that's
Moral, mind, and money.
partially intentional because it rhymes, or at least it starts with M. Everybody,
Yeah, it
every
sounds like a good rap song. You have something there,
right. So
Ingemar.
anybody who is in making music, please make a song out of it. It would be great. Because people think of money when they think of wealth. Um,
Mm.
that's really just what I say. I talk to my son. He's 65, 15, and we talk about that as well. He's very interested. He's listening, by the way. Hi,
Oh,
Benjamin.
good, good.
So the the money is really, as I see it, and as I uh, the result of many discussions I had around it is the money is the result of being wealthy, or is the result of the other two, morals and mind. So morals
Mm.
and mind come first. Of course, morals is something that has to do with ethics, with habits, and
Hmm.
all of these things. And religion is part of it too. You see, some religions are focused on creating wealth than more than others, and so it's a big part of it. The morals really come first.
Yeah.
And then the mind is everything that has to do with knowledge. So you go to school, you build your, you train your brain,
Mhm.
you do a lot of things to get smarter, and also, ultimately to create wealth and create things that are valuable and unique. Right?
Yeah.
That's what wealth really is, or that what creates wealth, to create something that's valuable and unique. And then what follows is money. So the last part of Moore's money is the money is really a result of the first two. So that's
Let
how
me
I.
let me interject there
Yes, please.
because morals, mind, and money.
Hmm.
Mo- When you say mind, you say build knowledge, and you mention schools. Now you know just as well as I, they're not teaching these things in schools.
That's
They are
exactly
not.
that's exactly right. My
And
book.
I
I wish.
wish
Yes.
that that was happening. And I also wish that our parents, who we depend on, that we are born into, would also be knowledgeable about these things to help us. Now,
Yes.
the reason why I mentioned the Asian and Syrian community is because these type of people tend to get into business from the get-go. That is their makeup, their
Yeah.
genetics. They were born into business, handed down. So they understand money, they understand what the need for money, they understand the purpose of money, that type of thing. And they pass this thing on to their children. I grew up going to school with, from a little child, primary school, seeing my classmates going home after school and being in the shop. And they're checking and selling and being a part of the business from the get-go. And they grow into that. So schools are not teaching it. And
No.
every time we have this topic, I am sure people are hearing about these things who have the powers to change the education system to do it, but they are not. I don't know why. Is it because they want to keep us down? A control system? I don't know. Coming
So
to
here's
morals,
an
before you
answer for that.
answer,
Yeah.
coming to morals, I tell you,
Yeah.
I'm passionate about this topic. Coming to morals,
Hmm.
I don't know if people have the kind of morals as the people as before. Something is happening in terms of morals. That is speaking to your values, your beliefs, a sort of respect for another human being, fairness, justice, equality. I am not seeing that. You're seeing more of, okay, if I have, I am going to make sure that it stays within this group of people and not try to distribute wealth or create opportunities for wealth to be distributed so that others can come up to have that. And when I say others, I mean outside of your race or outside of whatever
Generation.
group you may belong to,
Right.
that it's kept there. So morals, I'm not so sure about the morals. We have to work on that thing, Ingemar. And
That's exactly what I'm saying.
yeah,
We
yeah.
that morals are a big part of it.
Hmm.
In the end, we are all one. That's what it is, and we have to stick to each other, and that's why it's generational. For me, generations are not just. Oh, my brother is just saying hi, brother. um, Generations are not just generations. Your kids and your dad and your grandfather. It is, there is the 60s. That's the generations of the 60s, the baby boomers generations.
Hmm.
You have different kind of, now there is a new generation. They're growing up and they want to be empowered. And it's all races. It's black, it's Asian, it's Caucasian. So we have to find a moral ground to create something that encompasses all the generations that are around. And we don't have that. We have a big divide right now, and you're right.
Oh my
Morals are at
God.
stake right now because
Yeah.
that's how you create wealth, to keep your morals together and
Yeah.
sane. And
Yeah.
what's happening now is that morals are going to be they are going apart to cluster in different clusters. So we don't need, because morals are very simple. They're very
It
simple.
is so it is so simple, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You don't even have to go to school for it. I mean, it
Oh,
is something, it's like
right.
your own internal barometer
Hmm.
together with what you have been taught
That's
by your
exactly
parents, your own decisions, what you see, what you would want for yourself, you want for somebody else. You know, what's so difficult? What, you mentioned power. Why do people need to have power? Why do you think power need to reside with you? Why why do you think you have the authority to have power? Why?
Power comes with money, Karen. That's the problem. Power comes with money. It's the problem and the good thing too. So, but you can empower people who don't have. If you can teach people how to make money, you give them power.
You know,
That's
I'll tell you
that's
something, Ingemar. You are
that's what.
saying something that may have been relevant before, and
Yeah.
I'm going to challenge that there. Money makes people feel as if they have power, but
Well,
you
they do have
don't.
power. They do because
Oh, because there's no power. There's no
unfortunately,
power to them now in the pandemic. No amount of money could save you. What power do you have with your money?
the ultimate health we cannot pay with money. That's right. That's
You
right.
can't save yourself. No
Yes,
amount
that's
of
true.
money you have could save you. No amount of
Yep.
status, no
Yep.
amount of car, house, it cannot save you. So what is
That's
your
true.
money doing? What is it doing? We have to be real with this thing. Money, yes, talks, and it can buy you a number of things, and it can
Bribe people.
influence a lot of people, right?
I think there's a lot of
Right.
corruption going on.
It can, of
Yep.
course, corruption and all sorts of
Mhm.
different things. But when it comes right down to it, as human beings on this earth, your money cannot do anything for you. And that same money that you think gives you power, perceived power, is the same thing that will turn around to bite you in the behind.
Say it again.
It's the same thing, that same money that you feel have perceived power is
Hmm.
the same thing that will bite you in the behind.
It will. It will. But we have to acknowledge one thing in the world.
Mhm.
Money unfortunately is part of the wealth theme. And we perceive money as very important. And
Mhm.
if you have money, you are going to be important. And we
True.
as the people, we need to realize that and create money
Mhm.
because mostly problems arise if you cannot create money except for going to work and sell yourself for $12 an hour or 15 when you're lucky.
Yeah.
You earn $100 an hour, $150.
Yeah.
That's what you're worth. Even
Yeah.
people who don't have education, because they're human. So we need
Yeah.
to think differently about money. That's my great hope.
Yeah.
That we can. And if I can say something back to to education, to the mind.
Yes,
Why
please.
don't we learn it in school? So there was made a decision was made in the
Hmm.
early 1900s,
Hmm.
in the 20th century, so the 1905, something like that.
Right.
It was called General Education Board in America, but it
Okay.
spread around the world. It's the same everywhere. It is basically saying that if I quote somebody, Rockefeller, he said, I don't want thinkers, I want workers." Because
Okay.
industrialization, started to get really around, and we needed a lot of workers. The world needed a lot of workers, so they trained them to be workers, and we are still getting trained to be workers. We are
To be
not trained
workers.
to be investors, and we have a problem with that. We see it now in the streets. People are
We're
not
not
really
trained to
happy.
be thinkers. Yeah.
Exactly, right? Isn't that
Just to be
sad?
workers. Yeah. Oh, of course. Of course it is
Yeah.
that. It reminds me of the movie Z, I mean,
Oh,
Ants.
yeah.
Yeah. Where Ants
Scary.
had,
I
Z
didn't
had this.
watch it
Yeah.
to finish it because it was so scary.
Right? The movie ends where everybody just know they're born from the time they pop out of the womb, worker, soldier, worker, soldier.
Yes.
You had
Yes.
you
Yeah.
had your position already catered for you, and then Z comes along and decide he wants to be a thinker. Why do we have to do this and challenge the whole thing? But that one person, changed the entire spectrum of everything and
Exactly.
allowed people to see that there was more than.
We
It
should
just takes one.
exactly. We should really we should train our mind. We should be morally sound and think
Yes.
about another and others. And then don't shy away from making money. I think that's
Yeah.
also a big thing. We're taught that making money is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
you know,
that's another thing. The limiting beliefs behind money and even generational wealth that we're talking about. Because right now people are thinking, look, I just need to make the money to pay the bills to do this.
yeah,
Probably have some savings. It's all about me, I, and they're not thinking, okay, I may want to have children in the near future, or I do have children right now. How do I set things up? Some may be thinking they're on their own. I am so sorry for them. For
A
them,
lot. Yeah.
they're on their own. They better go there and work and do their own thing. Generational wealth, what the hell? I don't have time for that. You know, that's what they're thinking.
Exactly.
But here's another thought that came to mind as well. We are saying money, but is money also non-cash? So,
Oh yes.
because you mentioned real estate in your bio, and there are some other things. Could it be
Five.
non-cash, and could that
Five.
also be generational wealth?
Yeah. Oh, that's exactly right. Good question. There are five. The number five. People should remember the number five.
Hmm.
It's so there's the money market, which is cash, bank accounts, and all of that, right?
Hmm.
The second is securities. You buy stocks, you have securities. That's the second one.
Hmm.
It's called an
Hmm.
asset. The third one is a business. When you start a business, you will have an asset, and the business could be writing a book and getting royalties.
Yeah,
That's a business. So we have a publishing company, and I tell my authors, you know what? You're not a writer. You're a businessman. you know,
that's right.
you have to think about that. And then the fourth one is commodities, which is buying, gold and
Right.
pig bellies, whatever, crude oil, all of that stuff. I'm not in favor of buying crude oil, but it's a commodity. Um, and then the fifth one is real estate, which is my favorite asset
I
because,
love real estate.
right,
I love it.
you can make money with real estate in two
Yeah,
ways. One, appreciation, which most
yeah.
people think about, but creating income by renting it out
Yes,
is a
you can't go
huge.
wrong with that. You can't go wrong
Exactly.
with real estate. I
Yes.
love it. It's something that I said I want to get into. I just have this thing, and I think I will do pretty well in it. In real estate, and having apartment buildings or leasing out
Or
business.
just one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And you just start with one, you don't have to have a whole lot, but you start with one, and from that income, you invest in another, etc., etc.
Exactly.
But how do we, coming back to generational wealth, and thinking about a legacy we're leaving behind, for those of us who don't have persons that are left behind, we don't have children or people to that we can pass it on to, what do we do with the money? You don't want to just go poof and die, and
Oh, so
and the money is taken. I don't know what happens as the state take it.
yeah.
After all that hard work, what happens?
So good question too. You asked very good question. Thank you.
Thank you,
So
Ingemar. I'm pushing you.
if you don't have children, so that's part of becoming wealthy. You become a philanthropist, and that has also some
Mm,
bad notations. People think like, oh, these big people have a lot of money, but you know what? A lot of people have a lot of money, especially now. There's 60,000 more millionaires every single day.
please introduce me to them. Please introduce me
And
to
then
them,
there's
Ingemar.
there's a lot of millionaires growing because there is possibilities nowadays with apps like Airbnb or Neighbor.com.
Oh,
You can create
yes.
a lot of, and there is so. Back to your question, philanthropist is so if you can donate your money
Yeah.
and I donate to a children's network that
Okay.
foster kids, which is very important to me.
Yeah.
Um, so but also there's a quote in my book. It says you can only take with you when you die which what you gave away during your life.
Oh, yeah.
Does that make
Yeah.
sense? So you cannot take anything with you that you received,
No.
only
No.
things that you gave away. And
Yeah.
that's something we should think about.
Yeah.
Help people use your money for good purposes. That's just a very simple thing. Just don't do bad things. It goes back to morals, and that's how you can give it back to generations or a certain community group. Donate it to them or help them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For those of us who have children like myself and like you, and we want to pass it on um, to them, we want them to continue to build on top of that,
Mhm.
not lose it. So I believe the whole training process, like I mentioned, with my Chinese friends, and Indian friends and so on, were in the shop from a young child. They were learning from a young age, baby age.
Yeah.
So we have to prepare our children. We have that responsibility.
Hmm.
It's not just to push them through school and say, well, get straight A's and get all that and get a job and whatever. It's to teach them the value of money and what it means, and to always have it that you don't put yourself in a position that you have to be wanting or grappling or struggling. And in building Ingemar, I'm thinking, what other type of education that you think would be necessary to help them to build and to increase that wealth? Because you don't want it to stay the same way. So if you passed on $10 to your child, right, or $100, that's what was left, that was passed on. You don't want him or her to remain with $10 or $100. You want him to build that
Yeah.
150, 200, 300. What is the type of educational structure system that we as parents or even caregivers, for those of us who may not have biological parents or grandparents, whatever it may be, whoever that you want to, that have to pass on this to, what should we be doing to help prepare them to keep building on that world? Because we will be dead, remember. We
Yeah.
can't come back and help them out. I mean, I haven't heard anybody do that yet. So, so what do we do to help them to keep building?
So also a very good question. So again, morals, mind, and money. You should teach them in all three categories. When you wake up in the morning and you teach them good things, build their morals. That's already helping them,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And have good habits and not bad habits, and teach them how bad habits can change your life. I have a lot of people in my life that where I see exactly what how bad ethics or bad, not just morals, but morals. You have to learn morals, and you don't know what you don't know if you don't even think about morals, or
That's right.
so you have to first of all get into this whole thing, and then you have to teach children on their minds and their knowledge. And that's why I wrote my book, The Wealth of
Awesome.
Generations. If you read this book, you will have a good start into like the head of an investor. What do you need to know to teach your children or teach others to make the generate? Yeah, that's my website. Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
And
Of
here's the thing.
course.
Thank you. Yes, I will send everybody in the United States a free book of mine. This book that I have in my hands. It's also available on Amazon, of course. But you know what? I'm not here to make money on that book. Literally, I really don't want to make money. I want to spread the message, and I worked on this, and it's my passion. It's one thing I do as a hobby. I really like it. We do have a publishing company as well, but that's why it was easier for me to publish the book. So I will send you a free book if you register here, or you can even just email me and we can be in contact.
Awesome. So they can either buy or contribute to the book, or they can put in here and get a copy if they're in the United States.
Yes,
Right?
I won't ship it internationally because it will be too expensive. Uh,
Yeah.
but nationally, it's really not a lot of. I think Jamaica will count too. Not
Yeah.
sure. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because you'll have to ship there. Yeah.
yeah.
Because
It's a
I lived
media,
in Jamaica, you'll have to ship it there. So
right. It's media rate, which is pretty affordable. But if I have to go international, it would be like
awesome.
$20 per book or something.
And I encourage persons to connect with you on these social
Yes, please.
profiles: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Hmm.
Yeah. Let's see what else we can take advantage of Ingemar here. Let's see. He has a podcast. Does he now? Let's have a look at what he's doing over there.
Yes.
Ooh,
Actually,
look.
you can read, you can listen to the entire book if you scroll down a little bit for
Ooh.
free. You can listen
Oh.
to it. It's all the chapters are on there. You can listen
Oh.
to everything. It's narrated by AI, by the way, artificial intelligence. That's one of
That
my big topics.
that's
AI.
why I saw this hand. I'm just like,
Yeah.
why is this robot holding the book?
Well, one thing, Karen, we have to think about. Soon there will be a lot of jobs replaced by AI and robots. We
I am so sorry for them. I
Yeah,
am
we
so
can't
sorry
do
for them.
anything about it, and that's why what people will have a harder time to earn a living and to provide to their generations, and that's what a big theme of my book is.
Yeah.
To yeah,
Who
that's
is that? Who is that?
Well, it's a stock picture. It's not me.
Oh, I was like, what?
What
Who is
looks
this hunk
different
of a
20
man
years ago?
floating in the sea with the book?
Yeah,
Who is this man? I only saw the man. I didn't see the book. I'm being honest.
yeah, yeah. Maybe I changed that. It's a little bit provocative or a little bit distracting, maybe.
I only saw the man. I'm telling you, I didn't see this.
Yeah. So
Of
I also have a what is it? An online course.
course,
The
yeah.
whole book is in there, and it's also for free. You can log in with your Google account automatically, and this is the whole curriculum. And you can do chapter by chapter. It's all there for free. Um,
But you're not building generational wealth. What are you doing? You need to be getting paid for this.
well, maybe one day, but I want to spread the message. I do
Yeah.
speak sometimes, like now. I consider this speaking on your
Hmm.
podcast, and I appreciate you have me. I have been interviewed by others, and I also interviewed others on my show for the publishing show. That's why I have that.
Oh,
But
nice.
to be truthful, I haven't been on a lot of shows. I'm just starting it.
Oh,
So
nice. This
yeah,
guy almost stole my name. Who is this guy? Ronald
Ronald
Lamont.
Lamont.
I'm Lafont. He just
Uh,
switched out the M, the F
all
for the
right.
M.
Yes.
He stole my name. Okay, but this is good. This is good. This is good. So persons can check out your podcast, book you to speak, connect with you on socials, do the online course, I think it's here, and of course, get a copy of the book.
Mhm.
Yeah. Any final words before we go? We have a few minutes left. I'll keep this up so that persons can check. Or should I have the other one up? Where the online course? Let me see. Which one would you guys prefer I show? The guy or the book?
no.
Any final words before we go, Ingemar?
Yeah, no, I appreciate being on your show. I really love your show. You make this so easy. It was so easy to log on and talking to you. And I
Oh,
think you ask really good questions. I hope that your show will encourage a lot of people to think about
yeah,
generational wealth. There's one word, oligarchy. Have you heard of it?
I
Probably.
have.
So I'm really afraid that there will be a different system coming where a
Yeah.
lot of big companies that dictate what we do, and we as a the ordinary people have no say in anything anymore.
That's
Uh,
already happening. That's
it's
already happening.
yeah,
Yeah.
I hope we can empower ourselves by building generational wealth. That's really my hope.
You mentioned morals, mind, and money. And those first two is really where the power resides. And we have to look back, look in the mirror, and realize where the power resides. It's not in somebody else, it's in you. And once
Yes,
we come together and unite and have a common cause and objective and stay together no matter what, we can even make a change in terms of that. But because we have been programmed, and this is my opinion, to feel that the power resides in the person we put, in the position, um, and it's taken away from us. I don't know how. We feel that, we give up. No, no, no. The power resides in you as an individual, and together as a collective, we can make a change. Yeah. So even in your own families and in your own lives, you can make a change. Be like Z in ants, and be a thinker and step out of that frame, whoever
yes,
put you in there or you put yourself in there, and know that you can make a change. You're going to have bumps along the road, you're going to have learning curves and all of that,
yes,
but
always.
but that's okay. That's okay. It's all part of the process. So, Ingamar, it's been indeed a pleasure having you on my show, Between the Lines.
Same here to be
Yes,
here. Thank you.
it's great having you. And I want to wish you all the best with your book. Person should jump on, get the course, listen to the podcast, which is, give them the audio version and take advantage of whatever they can to learn, get financial literacy in their veins, and to connect with you most of all. So if they have any questions, they can get them answered. And to
Yeah.
those who watched and listened, especially your son, your brother, thank you for family because it's about you. Thank you for being here and supporting Ingemar
Oh,
Anderson.
you're very welcome. Thank you. Have a
You're
good
welcome.
rest of the day.
You too.